has affected me and my family personally. They have required me to, or my children, to think about and see things that children should not have to see or think about. One example is when threats to my life were particularly intense a few years ago, around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom, and he wanted to know what it was and why I had it, and I didn't know how to respond.
I'm just curious, since you're so confused by morality in this country, what did you tell your 12-year-old son when you gave Donald Trump qualified immunity, when he can do whatever the hell he wants and gets away with it? Huh? What did you tell your 12-year-old son when you shook the hand of a man that rapes women and owes her over $80 million? Did you sit down and explain that to him and how those were Christian values? Did you explain to him why you shook the hand of a man that caused an insurrection? How Michael Fanone almost died from being tased? How 4 officers took their own lives? How Sitnik died the next day and multiple officers? And why people like you fake-ass Christian, voted for that man again? Did you explain these horrible atrocities to your 12-year-old son? And, how about Epstein Island? Did you explain to your son while the president that you voted for won't release the files because Donald Trump is very likely a child molester? No? Huh, wow. Oh, but your little white privilege got shit on for a little bit. Now you're upset. Did you explain to your son that when you reversed Dobbs, how many women have died because of your decision? Because you're pro-life? It sure seems like you're filtering from your son the actual horrors of what an evil piece of shit that you are, Amy Coney Barrett. That's what you are. You are a modern-day Pharisee, a white Christian nationalist. What you should do is sit down with your son and say, I'm just an awful human being. I will force a woman to give birth because I'm pro-life. But once the child's born, 12-year-old son, I don't care if Donald Trump rapes her, if he molests her on Epstein Island, if it dies on an insurrection, if it starves to death, if it's shot into school, if it doesn't have health care, if it's homeless, if it dies from the environment. I don't give a shit about life, son, because I'm a Christian. Yeah. You are everything what's wrong with this country, Amy Coney Barrett. You should just go put your white hood on, because it sure seems like you give the white male patriarchy exactly what it wants. Did your husband give you permission to do this interview because you're supposed to submit to your husband like a good little Christian woman? No. Why don't you have these conversations with your 12-year-old? I thought you want them and you're horrified. You only cared when something negatively affected your life, your little white privilege. While you shit on everybody's rights, you're mortified that people are upset that you're pushing your version of white Christian nationalism on this country and literally giving a convicted felon a free pass to break the laws. As your court wants to overturn birthright citizenship. It's almost, Amy, like it wasn't about legal immigration, wasn't it? That you went to the voting booth and voted for a convicted felon and a rapist and a child molester who caused an insurrection and has 3 marriages with 6 bankruptcies and asked for black people to be murdered in Central Park. But somehow, yes, the brown people coming from Mexico, they're dirty. You just want legal immigration while you want to vote to overturn birthright citizenship. Wow, that's rich. And I'm sure you've had these conversations with your son. No, you didn't. Because you're nothing more than a hypocrite. Now, you remember this, Amy, because you would have been one of the Sanhedrin that crucified Jesus in the name of God because you're a Christian. You are a Pharisee. You serve an Antichrist. Now, you can yuck it up all you want on planet Earth, and you can kiss up to the white man, and you can push the white male patriarchy all you want, but you will stand before God, and he's going to ask you every single thing that I just asked you. Why did you do nothing about gun violence? Why did you vote for the rapist? Why did you vote for a president that defends child molesters? Why did you shut your mouth and sit silently about the genocide when 80,000 people were murdered by Israel? Why did you say nothing about the president that bombed and murdered 170 girls? Why did you take a woman's right to choose while they died of childbirth? While God gives women free will, you took it away. You took away God's free will. You're nothing more than a Pharisee. I hope it was worth it, Amy. Whatever you're getting out of this, is it money? Are white people kissing your ass, little MAGA base? Are you mad with them? You created this. You wanted to maintain the white male patriarchy because you wanted to be a good little Christian white girl. My cat that licks his ass has more Christian values than you. So fuck off, Amy Coney Barrett, and shove your gold cross right up your ass. Unless Donald Trump's already up there, which I'm sure he is.